Man, not like this. Not like this, man. Oh my god. Honestly, you guys, I feel it's safe to say that ultimately we beat ourselves and we lost this game today. I think, of course, like the defining moment of the game has to be that Mendy mistake. Still in disbelief, still in shock. My brain can't even process what I saw. That mistake ultimately killed our chances, I personally feel, of progressing into the semi-finals of this year's Champions League, because to concede right from the start of the second half when Tuchel just made the substitutions to bring on, immediately the whole team felt that. After that moment, we were seeing a lot of mistakes and poor passages of play and, things that we weren't seeing in the first half, because I think the whole team was rocked by that mistake because they knew what it entailed. And, out of all the players as well, too, for Mendy to do that, it's a shame. But at the same time, I'm not going to be here saying Mendy's shit, overrated, blah, blah, blah. I mean, this guy has been here for us, countless times with incredible saves and moments. And he always is a world-class goalkeeper. I guess he had his moment tonight. And unfortunately, what a moment to make. For me, his first proper big game mistake. But can I sit here and tell us, okay, we got a massive chance of winning the second leg? I'm not too sure, all you guys, to go to the Bernabeu against a Madrid team that they're in complete control right now. All their players, they've been here and they've done that time and time again. They've been doing it in the biggest games for years now. They're going to sit back on the counter-attack. They're going to defend. They're going to keep their shape. They don't have to push forwards. We have to go forwards. And as we've seen tonight, Madrid's counter-attack under Ancelotti is devastating, is dangerous. And when you have legends of the game, generation-defining players like, Karim Benzema with, the two headers he scored today, incredible goals, and you don't really see opposition players have those types of moments against us. But when you have that type of talent, when you have Vinicius Jr. who can bomb down the flanks as well too, being one of the most informed attacking players in Europe currently as well, that experienced midfield as well. Honestly, you guys, I feel like it's a tall order. And the only way to get through this is if we have some incredible luck on our sides, penalties, Madrid getting red cards, scoring early. We need all the luck in the world to be able to do this, you guys. But in today's review, I'm going to talk about the first half, the second half, player performances as well, and why I felt like we lost the game in general too. So yeah, you guys, hit the like button. And to start with things, I guess we have to start with the lineup. Now, I think all of us was kind of pleased to see that lineup. I guess the only thing for me that was a shame was seeing Azpilicueta having to play as a left wing back, for very understandable reasons. But the fact that we didn't have that natural left-footed guy in the team today, the fact that Chilwell was out for the season too, he is one of the biggest losses this season in terms of the balance that he brings to how we attack. That balance. Ben was scoring goals. Ben was providing that width. We couldn't replace him, and I think we all kind of knew that when we lost a key player like him in a wing-back system, it was always going to be a very tall order. And for me, I think one of the big tactical wins of the night was Ancelotti putting Valverde down that right-hand side. Because when we beat them last season, when we absolutely battered them, destroyed them in midfield, a lot of times it was losing because their midfield players was getting stretched out wide. And, guys like Kroos and Modric, they can't cover those horizontal distances. So Valverde tonight was key in allowing not only Madrid to win balls up high from long kicks from Courtois, but he was also tucking in deep as well, allowing your Krooses and Modric's to stay more in central positions as well. And for me, I thought this guy completely had a number on Azpilicueta, constantly forcing Azpi to play passes inside, where Madrid were outmanning us in midfield, because I think the fact that we was pressing so high, and I'm going to focus on this later on, but for me, they took advantage of our high press. And this is what smart, incredible teams do. They saw last season they couldn't cope. They found the solutions to cope against that. And they used our high press, our intensity and our physicality against us. They was picking us off on the counter-attack time and time again. Benzema with his movement. You can't stop that guy. Vinicius Jr. getting isolated 1v1. The one player you don't want to isolate. You don't want to isolate him because his pace, his speed, his dribbling success rate, his willingness to take his man on, man. I keep saying, you have guys like this in your team, they create space and they make things happen. And Madrid was able to stop us down that left-hand side because Azpi couldn't give us a natural width. They took advantage of our willingness to press high and leave massive gaps in space in front of our defence. And you got to think like this, yeah. Once Aspie's taken out, once midfield ain't there as well too, it's no surprise why our defence was looking like so uncharacteristic, no structure, and Madrid were picking us off down the right-hand side. Why? Because for the final piece of the puzzle, because Aspie could bring no width down that left-hand side, it meant that we relied heavily on Reece James progressing the ball and bringing the attack to Real Madrid down the right-hand side. So by having Reece James pushing further up, it was creating these gaps and distances between him and Christensen. Because you guys, man, we've seen how we've played under Tuchel now for like nearly 2 years. When do you ever see our wide centre-backs and our wing-backs not being in tandem, not working together? You know, when do they ever leave gaps and spaces like that? It just don't happen. It does not happen whatsoever. And tonight, man, we paid the price. Madrid took advantage, and ultimately it was 2 incredible finishes from Benzema. That first header, my God, one of the best headers I've seen in a long, long time. And for the second goal as well too, like just literally, he showed Lukaku what you have to do in those moments. And that's when, I keep saying it, Benzema's been a generational player since I first saw this guy doing this thing at Lyon, when he used to be like one of those like fast on the shoulder type of strikers. You know, Mourinho took his game to a whole new level, and this guy is absolutely complete. And that's the difference players of this level can make. But it was weird because that first half, we had that pressing advantage, but we kept falling for the traps time and time again. We produced some good moments. From the start of the game, the intensity was there, was creating chances. I thought Reece James today, throughout the entire game, excellent. And for me, Reece James is like, I think, for me, and alongside N'Golo Kante, they're the 2 players that can play in every single first team in the world. That's how good they are. I mean, Reece James tonight, our best player, as he tends to be. It's a shame they didn't have Ben helping him down that left-hand side. But of course, going down 2-0 was always meant that we were going to be playing on the back foot. We was able to get back, making it 2-1. One of the good things that Jorginho did was playing that cross to Kai Havertz with an excellent header as well too. But even when we scored, Madrid literally had an opportunity to make it 3-1 in the first half instantly. This time, Benzema somehow missing with his left foot from close distance. But you know, we kept getting picked off. And like under Tuchel, as I keep saying, man, the reason why we've been so successful under him is because we stop teams' counterattacks. That's how we win. That's why we're so good. And tonight, I've never seen a team expose us this much on the counterattack. I think under different circumstances, with like a left wing back in the team, maybe some players being like, you know, much fitter as well too. I think that, you know, you play this game 10 times and maybe we win 5 out of those games. We did win 5. I think it's that tight, to be honest. But it was a tall order. And of course, second half comes, subs get made, Christensen comes off. Personally, it wasn't the best game from Chris, but I can't sit here and be like, he's got his head in Barcelona already. I just felt like, I'm always saying this, man, we don't talk about the strategy in football. There's a reason why we see these types of performances, because the managers, why do managers exist if it's not to find ways to take advantage of weaknesses in the opposition? Sometimes that happens to us, and a lot of times when we do lose, it's because we have been beaten tactically and we do get exposed from that. Christensen was going to do nothing against Vinicius at all. But again, right subs by Tuchel to realise, you know what, we're getting too exposed in midfield. I need to have another man in that midfield, yeah? I need to take off Chris, because obviously you're going to have Silva and Rudiger playing at the back together. We had to have Reece James sitting deeper so he could go 1v1 against Vinicius. And it's no surprise in the second half that Vinicius' game was just nowhere near the same level as the first half when Reece James was deeper. And of course, Ziyech was there on the right-hand side. And I'm thinking, yo, James, Mount, Ziyech, right-hand side, that's guaranteed to produce something of quality. That's going to bring some creativity at least. But, you know, I'll get onto that in a moment. Of course, nothing really mattered in the end because of that Mendy mistake, and the whole game was essentially over. I thought Tuchel, he definitely got us back in the game by bringing on Loftus-Cheek and Lukaku. I thought Ruben coming on gave us that mobility in the central positions that we need, that Jorginho is desperately lacking. And for me, Jorginho has been doing good things in games, you know, playing great passes of great quality at times, but for every good thing he does, he also does a bad thing in games. We know that he's struggling mentally after the mistakes he's made with the penalty shootout miss for Italy and, you know, just his overall involvement. But, I mean, I've seen this for a while now, to be honest, and I definitely think his form has dramatically dropped a lot in the second half of the season. This game today, when it came to having to be that reliable guy to progress the ball further forward, he just couldn't do that. And I thought when Ruben came on, we were actually able to play out from the back, play a bit more vertically, and have that mobility to cover spaces and distances. Lukaku coming on as well too did have an important factor for us, because I felt like we had more attacking threat, because that second half, we didn't really see nothing until those guys came on. Me saying this though is not a defense of the misses that we saw from him. There was one miss in particular which I can kind of excuse a bit more due to this, like how recently he came on into the game as well. You're thinking bare execution, but it's one of those misses that you've seen tons of players miss before. But he got a second chance, which came from fortune again, a deflection off of Azpilicueta, a cross off Valverde. And for me, that moment he had to score, man. You know, like when you can sniff blood in the opposition. You know, you play against teams, you have these moments that come. You have to capitalize from that. And to be unmarked, for me, the neck muscles, the power should have been there to direct that in the goal. I get it, the spin was mad, but you had the time to see that ball coming towards you. It didn't just like randomly come at to him. You saw that. You should have executed it. The technique should have been better. We make that 3-2 in the game is completely different, and who knows what I'm talking about in this review right now. But it wasn't to be. And we had some other chances. I'm looking at Azpilicueta, incredible save from Courtois. I mean, I thought that was going in top bins. I don't know how he even saved that. Mason Mount coming close as well too. But other than that, there wasn't really too many great chances. A lot of it was just like, hope and pray shots from outside the box, some like Havertz, Reece James, a lot of that. And I guess ultimately for me, I feel like this game highlights to me that, okay, this is our current level. We've plateaued. We can't get better than this, essentially. We're like the third, fourth best team in the country. We have it in us to win a cup competition if we have good fortune, good run of form, all that stuff. We're good enough to beat any team on the day, but to consistently do it, we aren't there yet. And the only way to do that is to invest in the team. And by investing, not just spending money on players, we have to get rid of certain players now, and we have to evolve how we play a bit, because I feel like we're a very horizontal team. When we're playing that back three setup, if we don't have the wing backs playing, our attacking creativity goes down so much. Most of the chances we create come from like set pieces, penalties, long shots, counter pressing moments as well too. But one thing we rarely ever score from is anything from open play. And I guess seeing that second half, when I'm seeing Madrid, it was easy for them to just sit deep, their midfield compact centrally, allowing, come and break us down, and we can't do that, man. And I feel like we've never really shown consistently that when it comes to breaking down teams that park the bus, unless it's like a bit of fortune that comes in our way, our football can't do that. How often are we playing passes back into midfield? We play way too narrow. We don't create overloads in the wide areas. We don't have guys stretching the play. We're not shifting blocks enough. I see some of the attacking players struggling. I mean, Pulisic, not even one dribble the entire game. But how can he do that when he's not isolated to go 1v1? Imagine if Vinicius was playing for us. It'd be the same thing, to be honest, because Madrid was creating space for him to use his skill set. And that's what we don't do, man. I'm looking at some like Ziyech, Reece James. I'm thinking, I'm going to see some ability. Reece James on the outside, Ziyech in the right half space. I think I only saw like 1 or 2 crosses from that right hand side in like 45 minutes in that second half. Where was the football? Where's the passing passages? And I felt like that is one thing we've never really had in the system. And I feel like if you don't have certain like key qualities like that, that's going to come back to bite you in the arse eventually. And we are a good team. We are a team that when everything's on point, we are one of the hardest teams to play against. But now it's 7 goals conceded in 2 games. I'm seeing uncharacteristic things like teams creating counterattacks for fun against us in midfield, getting exposed as well too. In football, you can't play the same way forever and think that you're just going to go by. I feel like for next season, it's quite clear that we need a little bit of a mini revolution, because listen, man, the reality is always going to be, I want us to be the very best team. The best team in the world. What is the point of anything otherwise if that's not the goal? So my ambitions are going to always be much higher. That doesn't mean that I hate this, that. It just means that I want to see better. I know he can do that. We have the manager that can do that because, my God, Tuchel has not been a slave. He's not a Conte where he's been using back three his whole career. The way he got Madrid, Paris Saint-Germain's attack playing, Dortmund's attack playing. Give this guy the right players. Please, if we move away from this back three, give him the right players in the summer window, we will cook you guys. But unfortunately, I feel like this season, we're as good as we get right now. So now I'm going to wrap things up, keep things moving. I'm EFC, this is Blue Line CV. Catch you guys later with some more videos. Cool.